कृपया लक्ष्य द्या. जयपुर वाया कोटा.
कृपया ध्यान आपो अहमदाबाद.
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत.
Lucknow Junction.
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವರೆ
Hyderabad Punjab Express পরবর্তী স্টেশন নেতাজি ভবন. कृपया ध्यान दियो.
When the sky storm hits, Mumbai rejoice, and that's what happened today. Suryakumar Yadav was outstanding, along with support from Rohit Sharma and Tilak Varma. They've put on 192. We are back at Cricbuzz Live. I'm Saiyami, and I have my two heroes in front of me, Mr. Harsha Bhogle and Adam Gilchrist. I was almost rejoicing that I would win in front of my two heroes, but I humbly accept the loss because Mr. Bhogle is not the defending champion, but the winner for today's prediction game. Well done, Mr. Harsha Bhogle. Well done. Let's clap for you.
I'm trying very hard. I'm not good at showbiz. I'm trying so hard.
All right. Well done. That's
You
a
had it
big
till the
win.
last over. Let's
it
be
was
fair.
a really close call. A very close call, but a great last over.
Punjab have made a Harshal pitch.
Yes.
Now giving a boarding pass to Harshal Patel.
Oh, those boarding passes. The headline for
Handed out
tomorrow.
another one.
I'll tell you what, they've chartered a plane with all the
I reckon
boarding
they
passes.
need a
they're
few
giving
planes.
out.
Yeah, but it didn't look like Mumbai was going to get this far, did they? Because we were talking about how the pitch was slowing down, and we see the innings progression here, Harsha. The last five, they went at 12.40, but it didn't look like they'd get to 192.
It didn't at one point, and I maybe they shouldn't have got there. A couple of things going in their favour, but I think we won't talk enough, or we haven't talked enough about this young kid, Tilak Varma.
Yes.
He's made 34 of 18 balls on that surface. As soon as it started to get a little tough, he came out, hit a couple of sixes. But on little things, do things change? You know, the Suryakumar LBW call that went against Kings was followed by 4-6-1-6.
Yes.
And there was a little twist there. And two little cameos. Don't underestimate the value of two little cameos. 10 of 5, 10 of 6 and 14 of 7. So that's 24 of 13 balls in the end. That's very good.
The Tim David few sixes really pushed
David
them
14
to your
of 7
score.
and Hardik
Yes.
10 of 6.
Yes, but a little more on Tilak Varma. We spoke about how he's been doing his things quietly. Today again 34 of 18. The last few games for MI, there's just so much discussion with MI, right? There's Rohit and Bumrah's consistency, the whole captaincy issue. We have Tilak Varma, this 21-year-old kid, just doing things slowly and steadily, quietly under the radar.
Absolutely, and that's the way his innings seems. It's almost you're not even taking any notice of him because he's not having that doesn't have that stature yet of all these tritons around him. So he's going about his business in a way that he's comfortable with. But then within his innings, you're not noticing, and then suddenly bang, he hits that sort of pull shot and hits one right out of the ground. And but the key thing was just his manipulation of getting off strike, not getting bogged down with dot balls. And I like his temperament or his tempo in that he doesn't seem to try to overhit the ball. It's a nice fluent swing. And I guess on the flip side, what we saw from that, it was a decent enough little impact from Hardik Pandya, but just looks to me like, and I don't want to go in, it's affecting him, but he's trying very hard, isn't he? Just a bit too hard. When you see guys' hands coming off the bat when they're swinging so hard, just wonder if he's focusing on the ball as closely as he could be. But yeah, that's a good little...
Ran off. I'm in there. He ran off.
You know,
missed
we
two
were
full
having...
tosses. He didn't miss two full tosses.
Yeah, that's right. There was a couple of full tosses that typically he would put right out of the park. So, but the point you make, that he and Tim David, if an individual gets 24 off 12 balls, you're saying, well, that's a great impact. So collectively, the two of them did what they have to do at the back end.
But we were talking about it, and we were a little surprised that Hardik came in. Would you all have expected someone else to come in with Tim David?
Ordinarily, on a surface where the ball is stopping a little bit, if Hardik is in prime form, yes, definitely want Hardik to come out. But given the fact that he's struggling, and sometimes little things are going against you, you never budget for little things to go against you.
Great shot which caught the fielder. Otherwise, like you said, any other batter, it would have gone, just luck not going his way.
Yeah, but given where he is and what's happening with his game, I think Tim David. We were talking about that. We're not being wise after the event. We're talking about maybe Tim David. And if it doesn't come off, Hardik's there anyway. But in the form that they are, in the way the cards are turning up for them, I would have thought Tim David,
Well, Gilly, to talk about what Suryakumar Yadav's done, because it's just such a sight for sore eyes. We spoke about his shot, the inside-out shot over covers, and then that little lap six. You spoke about how has he never missed those lap shots because they just keep going for six. A strike rate of 147, just a quintessential Suryakumar Yadav knock.
Yeah, it's a really important knock that he got the motor going early, but then as we saw with the theme through the middle overs, it slowed up, but he still managed to get some singles. People will go, oh, well, he didn't kick on and keep a strike rate of 180. That's not a 180 strike rate pitch. And we've seen that. I think that's a very competitive overall total. But he's such a joyous cricketer to watch. I just get a smile on my face just watching him go about his business. So the stroke play, but then his body language and his smile and the energy. And even you could see he and Rohit really enjoying that partnership. They reviewed Rohit's review, they big smile, glove punch. It's nice to see that happiness and the joy of why we play the game, why we all started playing the game. So if you can maintain that through from junior grassroots cricket, as we say in Australia, through to international or high profile, which there's very few games as higher profile than an IPL match, it's a wonderful feeling. So, up and down, but that's the nature of the beast of T20 cricket. If you play with that element of X factor, you're going to have those little innings where you miss out. So that was, really enjoyable to watch.
2 ducks and 2 half centuries. That's
fine margins. The last game, he's played that shot, he's caught on the boundary. That goes 6 inches higher, that's a 6 that day. Today it goes 6 inches higher, it's a 4. And today he's played a couple of shots that just went over. So it's, as he says, you never know when it's coming. You've got to keep enjoying and not lose sleep if one goes up in the air one day.
Clearly they back themselves because they know those fielders are there for those particular shots, especially Suryakumar Yadav. And I would like to ask you this is, Suryakumar Yadav spoken about how much he practices the lap in the nets. And he says that it's not something that you can just land up on match day and play. And this is something he keeps doing over and over and over again. And even just his wrists over covers, he just seems to have the most flexible wrists on the planet.
Yeah, he hit a beautiful shot off Livingston, who, as we know, can bowl the off spin to the left hand and the leg spin to the right hand, but just opened the face up really nicely. All these shots that are now commonplace in T20 cricket, they practice them so much. Through our generation, it was an oddity to see that, and it would be maybe in a situation where you haven't trained so hard on it. But he's getting the ball all around the ground. They do know players are there. They back themselves with power nowadays. They'll feel that all I've got to do is hit it well enough and it is going to carry that fielder down there. Then you see Ishan Kishan, do what he did. You're never going to admonish him for doing that shot. As a short, wide one, go after it. Some days that does go over the top, other days it doesn't.
Yeah, but everyone practices these strange things like, in all the build-up before the 2007 World Cup, Gilly only practiced with a squash ball in his glove.
Don't we know? Don't we know?
I'd been using it at practice for about 10 years prior to that.
Serious?
Yeah.
Oh, you played with it for 10 years before that?
Yeah, not every practice, but I'll try and keep this short. You go on tour, you're all playing in different formats, and then you'd come back to Perth, and that's where my batting coach was. So my private guy I'd go and see. And it was almost like you'd come home and it's like putting your car in for a grease and oil change, just a tune-up. I'd go and see him, we'd do all these drills, but I'd always do it with a squash ball in to try and get my technique sort of straight and back up because you get into so many bad habits when you're away, and particularly chopping and changing from, well, for me it was primarily Test and one-day cricket, and then at the back end T20 cricket. But so that was all it was, like tuning up the car, and then I'd go feeling all refreshed. But it was only in that one tournament where he said you should use it in the tournament because the conditions will be conducive to you playing straighter down the ground. So that was it. So that's why I used it in the
Wow.
If only
This is something
Sri
I've
Lankans
always
knew
wanted to know since I was...
there.
Yeah, it wasn't overly successful for most of the tournament. There was only one innings at the end that happened to have a few eyeballs watching. But
But, we spoke about Suryakumar Yadav and just seemed to be so easy. He still wasn't striking at the way he usually strikes. We spoke about how this pitch is not that 180 kind of a pitch, 180 strike kind of pitch. But do you think Hardik was trying too hard?
Yeah, it gave the impression that he was. I mean, I've not been at that level, so I can't tell you. But just looking at body language, I got the impression he was, especially on those two full tosses that he missed, I got the impression he was trying too hard.
Gilly, what does one do when you know that the ball is not really coming on, and at the other end you can see, Surya was doing things perfectly fine. So when you come in, you kept saying he needs to watch the ball a little more carefully.
sounds simple, doesn't it? But it's amazing how when you're not really feeling, I don't particularly like the term form. I don't know you come in and out of form. It's more about results. But he hasn't had the time at the crease, which is often challenging in T20 career, but he hasn't been getting the results that he's after. So you try a bit harder and you start to look in an area. You start to think and probably in your mind, play over in your mind about what you're hoping is going to turn up and maybe expect to turn up. And then when the ball's not quite right in that spot, you've only got to be off by that far, and then you're hitting an outside edge or a thick top edge compared to getting it right out of the sweet spot. So, he got that short one away nicely for a six, but I agree with Harsh, it looked overly aggressive, just trying a bit too hard. He hits the ball pretty hard anyway, but when your hand is coming off the bat, that's what we term losing shape of the stroke, whereas, a lot of guys just do it so seamlessly, and he does it almost effortlessly when he's watching the ball closely and in touch.
Well, those slower off-cutters were troubling him a little bit. We'll have a look at the bowling card because they bowled a lot of those off-cutters there. Harshal Patel, 4 overs, 31. He bowled a lot of those. Rabada was expensive in his last over. Yeah. But if I just want to check, Harsha, on one thing, Harpreet Brar, 3 overs, 21, 7, very good economy and doesn't complete his fourth.
It's the whole thing. Tilak Varma batting, will he hit him for sixes? I come to T20 cricket and I think a left-hander's never ever bowled to a left-hand batter ever before in the history of the game. So we suddenly get into all that. So maybe that was the thinking. Maybe he just thought quicker bowler taking pace off. And the way Harshal bowled, actually, I just have an instinct. Hardik Pandya bowls that good off-cutter. Yes. Yeah. It might just be the day when he bowls well because it might be his kind of surface today. When he bowls at back of length, it doesn't sort of come onto the bat easily. It might just stop. It might be a day for him. But yeah, this left-arm spinners in this tournament, it's a story of the tournament. Whether it's Mayank Dagar, whether it's Anukul Roy, whether it's Harpreet Brar today, as soon as a left-hander comes out.
Yeah, we've been seeing this time and again. Joyda was very unhappy with these matchups, saying just bowl the spinner when he comes, but yet another game when they didn't. But how good was Harshal Patel? He got Harsha across the finish line, didn't he?
He did.
He's a top cricketer. I've always said he's my man for the last over.
Yeah, I'm sort of reflecting on the end total, which I'm a bit surprised they got that many because I thought Curran did a very good job in coming in at the back end and Harshal was excellent, but they just seem to find a few to the boundary. Again, it's that impact of that Hardik and David being able to go at 200 strike rate on what we don't think's that type of pitch. But
it seems enough, doesn't it?
I feel like it's enough. Yeah. So power play is going to be crucial, but just that Rabada over 16th over.
Yes,
that is such a fine line, isn't it?
Peculiar.
Well, Surya's saying that there isn't due so far, so
and
that's
if there isn't
a
due at 37 minutes past 9, then maybe it's not going to be there.
Yeah.
But I don't know, peculiarly, he's playing his first game. I just think Riley Russo's a key player because when he gets going, he just goes boom, boom. And this is a side that is very short on experience in batting. You've got Prabh Simran, you've got Ashutosh, and you've got and Shashank. So you've got 3 very young players in the top 7.
Yes.
So
But surprisingly, Sam Curran's come out to bat.
Yes, I just heard that myself.
That's an interesting one. I didn't see that coming at all. With him coming in, why don't you go first? Because we have a winner already. So we'll go with you first for the prediction at the.
Oh, right. I thought you were going to ask my opinion on him coming at the top. I said he's too high at 4. But he could well. I mean, he's a damaging player, so good on him. Good. The captain's move.
Is he coming
to get up
just
there.
to have a flyer in the park?
Oh, I think he's going to be.
Given that they're short on experience in
Yeah.
the batting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a risky play.
Well, he started with the
first ball
4.
4.
Started well.
So there you go. All right, so that's 4 to the total. We know
Yeah,
that, but
now
we
we
all
can't
know
get
that.
in more.
I'm going to go 49.
There's Bumrah.
53.
Oh.
I'll go with 42. Yeah, just go with 42, hoping Bumrah does Bumrah things.
If you take off that pink filter, I think she's wearing blue.
I am wearing blue. I always wear blue, but it's an important game for both of them to win. So I
Very
think
important game for them.
Yes.
I think the next 20 overs could hold the key to their future in this tournament.
Yeah. Well, for both teams.
Yeah.
Simple as
Yes.
that. Yeah, you don't want to be halfway point sitting on two wins.
All right then, Mr. Bhogle was the humble winner in this prediction game. We have a surprise opening pair that's come out, so we want to go out and see that. We have to go and eat the food that we've ordered, but we will be joining you all at the 10 over point, so we'll see you all at the Cricbuzz com box.
कृपया लक्ष्य दें। जयपुर वाया कोटा
कृपया ध्यान आपो अहमदाबाद
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत।
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವವರೇ
Hyderabad 50 एक्सप्रेस পরবর্তী স্টেশন নেতাজি ভবন। कृपया ध्यान दें।